Got a special guest speaker today from Town Hall. No booing, no throwing fruit. His name is Geoff Martin. That's Geoff with a G. And he's the new town energy coordinator. And if I'm not mistaken, he's the only one in the state that is fully employed by a municipality. Even our friends in Burlington, those progressives up there, haven't done that yet. Geoff comes to us from Massachusetts. He got his college training in Atlanta, right? Emory University. And he's working with us on some projects here in the building, among other things in town. And we have a number of improvements that we hope to see come to fruition one of these days here. And if he doesn't get them for us, we're going to go down 1960s style and we're going to protest and close that town hall. I got some of you on my list to go out to the solar. We're going to chain you to a solar panel. We're going to cover them up, and this town's going dark if we don't get what we want. Margaret, I got you at the solar farm down at the transfer station. I'll fill you in on details. Okay, I can reassign you to the Wilder Dam. So anyway, we asked Geoff to come and just give us an overview of what he does and what his job entails. He started at the end of August, and tell us about some projects in town, and then leave a little time for Q&A. So, Geoff Martin from the town, he's a good guy, I like him, I've been working with him since he started, and he's working for us on some of the things here in this building. So, Geoff, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Len. It's a great introduction. Can everyone hear me? All right. So, thank you so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to speak to you all today. And thanks to Len for inviting me, and it's been a lot of fun working with him. And I hope to be here a lot more as we continue to work on projects here at Bugbee. So, as Len said, I just started just a couple of months ago here for the town, and my role as the energy coordinator, as Len mentioned, is the first in the state that's to have a full-time energy coordinator on staff. And so I'm really honored to get to serve the town in this role, and I think that it really speaks to the leadership of the town of Hartford to be the first one to go out and hire a full-time energy coordinator. And if you look around, other towns are starting to follow suit. So actually, my boss, Lori Hirschfield, who's the Director of Planning and Development, she just last week was on the interview committee for an energy coordinator in Lebanon. And they're looking to do a similar thing in Hanover as well. So a number of towns are now taking Hartford's lead and hiring full-time energy coordinators. So you might wonder, why have a full-time energy coordinator? And I think there are at least three major reasons for wanting to have an energy coordinator. The first, I think, hopefully Len's not listening. Because the first is the environment. Climate change. Len has told me he doesn't believe in climate change, so hopefully he's not listening. But as we've seen, there's been a number of really severe storms just this year, right? We've had a major hurricane in Houston and Florida and Puerto Rico, and historic wildfires in California and flooding here in Vermont. And of course, probably all remember Irene and the damage that Irene did to the state of Vermont. And so working to reduce our emissions and address climate change is really important for the world, but also for here in Vermont to avoid a major destruction that can occur with major flooding events like that. The second reason I think it's important to think about energy issues is that there's a lot of change right now going on in the energy sector. A lot of new technologies that are rapidly evolving and rapidly becoming cheaper and cheaper. A lot of opportunities that the town can take by being proactive and planning for the energy future. And there's also the chance of missing out on opportunities if we're not thinking about these topics. And so also the state has some pretty aggressive goals around energy. So for example, by 2025, which is only 7 years from now, the state has a goal to reduce per capita energy consumption by 15%. So everyone needs to be using 15% less energy in just 7 years. With renewables, the state has a goal of 25% renewable energy, also by 2025, just 7 years from now. And those are really aggressive goals. It's going to be difficult to achieve those goals. And so it's important to be thinking about these full-time and dedicating some resources to that. And also just, as I said, not missing out on opportunities, bringing in entrepreneurs and bringing in investment in the town around renewable energy and other types of new energy systems. And then the third reason, and maybe the most important or most convincing reason, is to save the town money. So a lot of people think that renewable energy is really expensive, but actually, if you look at some of the projects that the town has already, the biggest one being at the transfer station that Len just talked about chaining ourselves to if I don't get this done, that project is already saving the town thousands of dollars every single year. And the great thing is, with some of these renewable energy projects, the solar projects, it cost the town nothing to get these projects built. So the town didn't even have to pay a penny to have the landfill project constructed. And from day one, they started saving money. And that means that the town has to spend less on electricity, and then we have more money for other more important projects than just spending it on electricity. And so my role is looking at energy across the town, energy use across the town. So of course I've talked a little bit about municipal energy use and municipal buildings, but I'm also hoping to engage with residents of Hartford and help residents to find opportunities to save money at their homes. And I haven't started this yet, but hopefully in the near future we'll start engaging with local businesses as well to help them save money and be more prosperous. And then within each of those sectors, so within the municipal, residential, and commercial sectors, it's not just looking at electricity, that's what I've talked a lot about already, but also thinking about transportation, the fuels that we use to get places and how we get places. So public transportation is another thing that I'll be focusing on. And then also the way that we heat buildings. So moving away from traditional fossil fuel sources like oil or propane and moving towards more renewable sources, some wood and electricity. So the projects that I've started to work on so far, the one that I've spent the most time on since coming here in the two and a half months I've been here, is some solar projects for the town. So I'm working to hopefully get 3 new solar projects installed. One is at the ice rink, WABA. One is at the Public Works building, and one at the White River Junction wastewater facility. And so we're working right now with some tight deadlines to try and get these projects installed before we miss the deadline on this. So I'm working really hard to get these in. And hopefully, if we can install these projects, we'll save in the first year $26,000 on electricity costs. And that's just in year 1, and this will happen every year. So over 20 years, we're looking at over $500,000 in savings just from these 3 projects. And these are pretty small scale projects actually, so hopefully in the future I'll be working on bigger projects and saving even more money for the town that way. Another project that I have spent a fair amount of time on is what's called the Button-Up campaign. And so we had an event just a couple weekends ago at the Dothan Brook School where we had 65 people come, and residents of the town and also the surrounding communities. And we have presentations about home energy efficiency and what you can do to save energy on your own heating bills. I think I'm getting a little feedback there. And so we're going to continue with campaigns like that this coming year, trying to get out into the community and educate people on what they can do to save money and save heat. And then, of course, as Len mentioned, we're working on municipal buildings, including right here at Bugbee. So there are some opportunities with this building. If you look up, you can see this is not the most efficient design. We're losing a lot of heat through the ceiling right here. And there are other opportunities within the building to save a lot of energy and also make the building more comfortable to be in. And so I've gotten to work with Len a lot over the past couple months, and will continue to do so in the next year or so, hopefully to get these projects done and save Bugbee some money and make it a more comfortable place to be in. So thank you again for your time, and I'm happy to take any questions that anyone has. Make it easy on me. Yeah.
How do people contact you?
How do people contact me? What I can do is maybe I can give Len my contact information, and he can get it out that way. I can tell you my email address right now, but if you can't write it down, I'll give that to Len, and we can put it up there on the board. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm happy to, at any point if you have questions, get in touch with me, and I'm happy to try to answer those questions. Yes?
How long have you been doing this?
The question was, how long have I been doing this? So before I came here, I was a home energy advisor with the Mass Save program. So I would go to people's homes in Massachusetts and do a walkthrough of the home and then make recommendations on what they can do to improve the efficiency of their home. And I did that for 2.5 years in Massachusetts. And then, as Len said, I was just down in Atlanta at Emory, where I was getting a master's in environmental sciences. And then I just, from there, started this job. So just 2 months ago.
You like it?
I love it. I really do. I'm not just saying that. It's actually just been a really, every day I've got something to do, and I've learned a lot already. So it's been a lot of fun. All right, well, if you come up with questions, Len's going to have my info up on the board. Please reach out to me, call me, email me. I'm happy to take questions at any point. Thank you.
Thank you.